Salvete omnes, this is Emilia, also known as TheMartianGeek, and welcome back to another episode of Mega Man 10. In the last episode, we showed off some bosses on easy mode and hard mode, and we're still in the challenges menu. We sure have been spending a lot of time here during these extras, haven't we? So this video is for miscellaneous stuff, basically things that I wanted to show off that didn't really fit anywhere else. Starting with some fortress bosses. We're still not showing the easy and hard mode versions, but I thought it might be kinda interesting to try fighting them with their weaknesses. And if you're wondering why some of them already have crowns, it's because one of my failed takes involved the microphone being needed. So let's not do that again, shall we? Starting things off with the weapons archive, which I think is the most interesting of the group. Because it technically counts as 9 bosses, so we actually have a bunch of different weaknesses to use here. Notably, it says avoid damage, not avoid damage and only use the Mega Buster, though admittedly I think that's true for the other fortress bosses as well. Still, we'll be using all 8 Robot Master weapons here. The general theme is, whichever weapon you have that's most like the weapon that was the weakness of the boss in its source game, that's what you use on it. So, starting things off with the Mega Man 1 through 3 bosses. Will our first guest please sign in? Please welcome... Gemini Man. He's weak to the Wheel Cutter because it's a ground-based weapon, just like the Search Snake in Mega Man 3. It seems oddly difficult to hit him with it, actually, because of the constant up and down movement. Then there's Woodman, who's weak to the Triple Blade, and Woodman is kind of an odd case, because it's presumably supposed to be like the Metal Blade in Mega Man 2, except Woodman wasn't actually weak to the Metal Blade, he was weak to the Atomic Fire, so wouldn't Solar Blaze actually make more sense against Woodman? But I suppose in Mega Man 2, Woodman actually had like 4 different weaknesses. Mega Man 2's weaknesses were weird. And the Metal Blade was one of them. It did deal extra damage to him, even if it didn't deal as much as the Atomic Fire. So if they couldn't fit the Triple Blade in anywhere else, it makes some sense. Still way easier than actual Woodman. Then we have Electman, who is also weak to the Wheel Cutter. Well, there are 9 bosses and only 8 Robot Master weapons, they had to reuse one somewhere. In this case, it's like the Rolling Cutter in Mega Man 1. So, round 1 clear, time for round 2. The Mega Man 4 through 6 bosses. Starting things off with... Napalm Man. Well, in Mega Man 5, Napalm Man was weak to the Crystal Eye, a ball that bounces off surfaces. That sounds an awful lot like the Rebound Striker, doesn't it? I still haven't figured out how to not have him ram into you, though. Then there's Flame Man. In Mega Man 6, he was weak to the Windstorm, and we don't actually have a wind weapon in Mega Man 10, but we do have a water weapon, and that makes sense to use against the Fire boss. And it shreds him just about as quickly as it shreds Solar Man. Napalm Man again, okay. Oh, come on, how do you dodge that? Then there's Ring Man, who's weak to the Solar Blaze. It's a fireball, just like the Pharaoh shot in Mega Man 4. Ring Man is surprisingly good at dodging the thing, too, because it's awfully slow. And now we're beginning to see the problem with this version of the weapons archive. I actually find it quite a bit harder than the one in Wily Stage 1. It doesn't behave any differently, but you have to fight 3 life bars worth of boss right in a row, with no health refills. Unlike in Wily Stage 1, where you could actually get energy drops and stuff. So yeah, this is actually pretty tricky. Mega Man 7 through 9, round 3, starting things off with Frost Man. Well, in Mega Man 8, he was weak to the Flash Bomb, so it makes sense to use the Commando Bomb on him. Like most things that don't like the Commando Bomb, it's the Shockwave you want more so than the bomb itself. Then we have Tornado Man, who is unfortunately weak to the Thunder Wall, something had to be, and this is the electric weapon, just like the Plug Ball in Mega Man 9. That looked like it should have hit. So we're just down to Slash Man. Unfortunately. In Mega Man 7, he actually had 2 weaknesses, the Scorch Wheel and the Freeze Cracker. And the Freeze Cracker did a little bit more damage, I think, so it makes sense that he's still weak to the Ice Weapon, the Chill Spike. Another boss who likes to telefrag you. And the problem with Slash Man is the Blob of Ice doesn't actually do that much damage to him. It's the spikes that you want. And it's kinda hard getting him to land on them. But I did it. Barely. That's actually the first time I've cleared that challenge. Not with avoiding damage, of course, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Whew. So that's done, and now it's time for something a bit more mundane, the Crowd Puncher from Wily Stage 2. So this one seems to actually have two weaknesses, which is a rarity in Mega Man 10. Both the Commando Bomb and the Thunderwall deal extra damage to it, and I haven't actually tried using them on it much, so let's find out how well we do here. So, Commando Bomb. Notably, both of those weapons can hit both of the eyes at the same time. So yeah, that actually works quite nicely. I'll try the Thunderwall. Well, it absorbed most of those things, at least. And I missed. Yeah, if you can actually hit with that, that does a pretty good chunk of damage. Still, the Commando Bomb is much easier. Much easier to use, I mean. So it's down. Yeah, like I said, if you can actually aim the Thunderbolt correctly, that seems to do pretty well on it, but the Commando Bomb is way easier to use. Then we have the Block Devil from Wily Stage 3, which is unfortunately also weak to the Thunderwall. Avoid damage? Yeah, that ain't happening. Also, I kind of forgot the pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 12, 13, 14, and... well, I guess I didn't really forget the pattern because I had that failed take. Don't go up. Yeah, I mean, that does decently well, again, if you can hit with the stupid thing. 16, 15, ow, I was supposed to jump there. 14, 13. 12, 11, jump there. 10, 9, 8, jump there. And we just stand under the rest of them. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Can I hit this thing with the Thunderwall when it's under the... no, I cannot. Okay. Well, triple blade it is then. Ow. And now it reassembles again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, jump 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Ow. And double ow. Oh, don't go up, you stupid jerk. Fine. I'm gonna throw a ball at you. Yeah, that hit. Not. 16, 14, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. I almost jumped into the pit there. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And yeah, we're out of Thunderwall for one thing. Why is that weapon so terrible? Triple Blade deals 1 damage, but it's way easier to hit with. Challenge cleared. So now it's time for the Wily Machine. And he has 2 phases, so naturally he has 2 weaknesses. He also actually gets a teleporter, too. Defeat the Wily Machine. And avoid damage, which, again, good luck with that. So, Wily's first form is weak to the Solar Blaze. Let's set that fancy pirate hat of yours on fire, and get rid of some of the missiles he shoots while you're at it. Ow. Unfortunately, I did not get rid of the missile that hit me. That was not great, but whatever. The second phase is weak to the water shield, of all things. Seems like throwing the shield is the only good way to hit him with it. Unfortunately, you don't always hit him with it, and it only deals 3 damage, so you're not going to be able to defeat him just with that unless you can... Ah, dang, he had 1 HP left. Well, oh well, we saw what he can do, and what we can do to him. Yeah, so you actually don't quite have enough water shield to defeat him entirely with it, unless you manage to hit him more than once with 1 use of it, when he comes close to the ground. So we already did fight the Wily Capsule with its weakness, but might as well put it here anyway for posterity. And as we saw, he's weak to the Chill Spike. Still have not found a good way to dodge everything that this guy can do. And so far it's not looking good. No, I don't want it on the floor. Wily doesn't go there. I mean, again, I guess he might. Heck, screw the Thunderwall. Why are so many of the weapons in this game so bad? Well, we got him anyway. So there's all the fortress bosses with their weaknesses. So moving on to something else now. So now let's show some alternate paths through stages that we didn't take the first time. Starting with Commando Man. This time we're going up instead of down. And the sandstorm is at our back. And this Met is annoying. Fine. Open up, you jerk. And that was it. Not a lot to that one. So then we have a bit of non-sandstorm section. And then the paths meet up. Yeah, so I don't know why you'd take the upper path there. It seems like the bottom one is just as easy, if not easier, and you get an E-Tank out of the deal. You get nothing for the top path. So, anyway, that was that. So now it's time for the alternate path in Pump Man stage. Once again, we're going up when we went down before. There are more spiders. Can I get that Met out of my way? No, it doesn't matter if they're slug Mets or regular old garden variety Mets. Mets are annoying. May as well get that one up there. And it respawned the spider. Well, that's a bit of a problem, isn't it? Good dog, waiting for me. Yeah, here there's kind of a sub-split path almost. You can either go up or down, but I'm going to attempt to stay up. Because if you stick to the top area all the way, you can get stuff. And I didn't. I think I can still rush coil my way up there. Right, well actually... well, whatever. Yeah, see, if I'd stuck to the top all the way, I could have gotten those bolts without rush, but now we're gonna need the assistance of a dog. Not that I'm using those bolts for anything anyway, but... then we have this room. A bunch of these guys. If you can take out the top one first, then the bottom one, and then the middle one. And then we try to land there. Yeah, the top path definitely has a lot more of these things. Well, they don't really show up underwater. And that one kind of tries to ambush you. Ow. As well as that one, which I forgot about. Ow. And more ice physics. Or slime physics, as they may be. Okay, that has more range than I thought it did. We're getting near the end. There's more of these things to deal with. And that one you can ignore as long as it's still in the 3-tile tall passage. Shoot the spider. Refill our rush coil. And there's the end of the stage. Yeah, that one was a bit more involved than Commando Man's. And I think actually there the upper path is easier. It's a bit longer, but it's much more typical platforming rather than being underwater and dealing with spikes like you had with the lower path. But again, you do get better loot if you go down, so it's really a matter of personal choice. So this video actually ended up being significantly shorter than I expected, so I've decided to tack on an addendum or two. First off, let's show what happens when I try fighting Anchor with the Mega Buster. I will most likely not win this, and if I do, I will be very surprised indeed. Wait, what? I didn't know that could happen! Apparently you can't go over 10 minutes in these stages. Huh. So I have one last thing to show off. You'll notice how on the title screen there's Mega Man's face, but also Protomans and Basses? Well, that's because we can actually play as both of those characters, in addition to the default Mega Man. So let's see what they're all about. We'll start a new game. You can choose Mega Man, Proto Man, or Bass, and it shows you a little bit of what they can do. Like, Proto Man has a shield, has charge shots, and has a slide, and Bass can aim in all directions and dash. But we'll get into that later. For now, let's try out Proto Man. Still doing normal mode. So let's try Solar Man stage. We've seen Sheep Man and Blade Man enough in the difficulty demonstration. So, I'd say it's time for something new. You get to start out with off with his trademark whistle. So he can only have 2 shots on screen at a time. But he can charge, and he can slide. Quite handy, that. Not really sure why they took those abilities from Mega Man, to be honest. Maybe because of giving them to Proto Man? Also, his shield protects him a little bit when he jumps. Not a lot. It doesn't have a very big hitbox. It only works on the front, and it only works for projectiles. But it's something. And I am having trouble hitting that thing. Oh, there we go. So now the problem with Proto Man, besides the fact that he can only have 2 shots on screen, is he takes more damage. I'm not sure if he's more or less fragile than he was in Mega Man Rock and Roll, but that can be a problem. I jumped way too early there, and that was... owie. It is nice being able to slide again, though. At least they give those abilities back to Mega Man in Mega Man 11. But that game didn't let you play as Proto Man or Bass. Rather sad, that. But I suppose it makes sense. Ow. Oh, I forgot that thing would respawn. Yeah, look at how low my health is already. And now it's time for Double Burb. I'm not sure how much damage his charge shot does compared to the normal one. I would assume it's either 2 or 3, but... See, I still kind of feel like just regular shots work better on these mini-bosses because they don't have invincibility frames, but you may as well charge up while they're dashing across the screen and can't be hit anyway. Boss's invincibility. When a boss has invincibility frames, that's the perfect time to charge a shot. Now you might be wondering, what does Proto Man get instead of Rush Coil? Well, he gets the Proto Coil, which is not a dog. It's just a little jack-shaped thing. And he also has Proto Jet from the start, instead of having to wait after beating a couple bosses to get it. Wait until he has beaten a couple bosses, I mean. He's good at destroying the fires. And honestly, not bad at hitting the sunflower lamps either. Ooh, I kind of want that health pickup, but do I dare? Well, actually, sure I dare. I just can do that. That was a bit risky, but it worked. Now, I won't be taking the left path there, because I don't have any special weapons. So, ow. So, nothing that'll get through that wall, and I don't particularly feel like climbing all the way back down. I think it does do 3 damage. Well, that's good. I haven't really been using his shield much. I tend to forget about it, honestly. And I don't think it can protect against lasers. So now we're going to face Solar Man with 4 health. Well, I'm not going to try to beat the stage with Proto Man. I'll just go until I run out of lives, which shouldn't take too long. Now the problem I can see fighting Solar Man as Proto Man is I suspect his charge shot probably charges him up more. Well, that lasted long. Alright, let's try that again. I also just noticed that the pattern on the background is different where the boss door is. How'd it take me that long? Ow. Look at how much damage that did! Like Solar Man didn't have powerful enough attacks? Yeah, I feel like Proto Man is definitely hard mode. I mean, aside from the literal hard mode. And I'm already dead. I mean, yeah, he can do more damage, but he also takes a lot more. I'm fairly sure it's not just an increase of 1, but more than that. Still haven't determined if his charge shots power up Solar Man more than normal ones. Ooh, I almost jumped right on that. Well, I haven't taken a hit so far. Whoops. Oh, I don't want to get hit by that, yeah. And ouch. I was doing so well at the start. Alright, I think I have one more try at this. And I probably won't make it. But that's okay. I'm not trying to beat Solar Man anyway, just as long as I can show him off. Let's try staying in the middle. Let's try not jumping directly on the fireballs. It does seem like that might be the safest option, honestly, because it gives you a little more height to jump over stuff than being in sections 2 or 4 does, and it leaves you less opportunity to get cornered than being directly on the highest sections does. Anyway, we're gonna exit for now, because we've seen everything Proto Man can do. I guess we didn't really use his shield much, like I said, but... So now we're gonna try a game with Bass. He can shoot in 4, or actually, he can shoot in 7 directions. He can apparently jump, and he can dash instead of sliding. He cannot double jump in this game like you could in Mega Man and Bass, but... yeah, and let's try Strike Man for his stage. I can see a few places in this one where his ability to aim would come in handy. Unfortunately, it's Strike Man's stage, so there are too many enemies. And the problem with Bass's shots is they're weaker than Mega Man's. They seem to be about half power. You can have 4 of them on screen at a time, and rapid fire, though. They also don't go through walls. I tried to dash jump and failed miserably, because I'm pretty sure you can't do that in this game. I don't need those bolts, whatever. So here's the best use for Bass in this stage. Fighting these stupid things. He doesn't have to climb on top of the fist, he can just stand directly in the middle and aim straight up. Bye-bye! Also, he doesn't seem to take as much damage as Proto Man. I think his defense is the same as Mega Man's, but I could be wrong on that. Ow, well I got hit twice by the same soccer ball. And apparently he can't shoot... Okay, he can. Just takes 2 shots. Do I really want to go down there? Not that badly. That was clumsy. Yeah, he definitely was more mobile in Mega Man and Bass, but this is Mega Man 10, so we'll play the hand we're dealt. Also, you can just shoot that from where you are. And you can do the same for this one. Bass does not like sports. He will destroy your sports. Now the second one isn't really any tougher for Bass than the first one is, because again, we don't really have to be bothered with the fist, so we don't have to concern ourselves about with running into the electricity. You can just pretty much ignore everything except dodging and shooting up. Insert your own Nick Fury quote. You can shoot these things too, but they pop out so fast that it's not always the easiest thing. Ow. Incidentally, Proto Man and Bass never actually have any roles in the story. Like, I think Proto Man gets mentioned, but Bass not so much. Bass never even shows up. I mean, he was originally DLC, so... Bass is so good at sniping things like these. Not gonna get those bolts. Who needs to actually jump up on stuff to hit enemies above you, when you have the amazing aiming arm cannon? Anyway, time for the boss. Now the one thing about Bass's weakened shots is it doesn't really matter for bosses, because Mega Man's uncharged shots only deal 1 damage anyway, and Bass's shots can't deal less than 1 bar of health worth of damage, so... Now, whether his ability to aim makes Strike Man any easier, I'm inclined to say no, it doesn't. You could potentially hit Strike Man when he jumps up, like... Well, he didn't do it that time. Ow. Yeah, like that, but... I feel like it's not really worth it to aim up at him when he does that. Like, just lining yourself up, it doesn't really seem like it would actually be... Well, okay, I did it that time. And got him. Well, at least we'll get to see Bass's weapon get animation, even if we don't see Proto Man's. He's purple. And his "you got a new weapon, insert weapon name" dialogue box is a different color from Mega Man's 2. Anyway, though, I think that's all I'll do with Proto Man and Bass, and with that, that's actually everything I have to show off for this game. I can't think of anything else in Mega Man 10 that would be interesting enough to put in a video. I mean, I didn't do all the challenges, but that hardly seems worth the trouble, honestly. If there's anything else you can think of that you'd like to see, then I'd be open to it, but for now, I will see you next time.